Let's do other stories now, because former Finance Minister Terkper has dismissed suggestions that dollarization of the economy is to blame for the country's current economic challenges. Ghana's cedi continues to see significant depreciation over the past couple of weeks, a situation many argue is attributable to the dollarization of the economy, spike in petroleum products, and its attendant effect on the prices of general services and goods have all been attributed to the overall dollarization of Ghana's economy. But Terkper thinks otherwise. He's been giving reasons when he featured on the AM show this morning.
The whole world depends on the American dollar. As we speak, Russia, mighty Russia, may default on account of the financial sanctions that has been put. But
just to interject, they will not default because they don't have the money, but what they've called artificial, an artificial manipulation, because then they will not be able to raise the sort of sums from the banks that have been affected. So it's not that they don't have the money, but
yes, but the point you are making is about the importance of the dollar. And so the Russian economy is a strong one, right? And why is it that, as it's been suggested, that fear is still there, even though they have said that they could settle their, commitments in rubles, right? And that is precisely because of the strength of the dollar. So I'm only giving you a comparison that stronger economies also bow to the dollar. Even oil-producing economies bow to the dollar. And that is on account of a country managing its wealth. Its finances well, right? Such that, they are able to capture the growth and make the dollar the currency of choice. So I'm afraid those arguments, two reasons. First of all, we are in a crisis. Yes, that is very important. That is a long-term solution. We have been, since 1970s, attempting to get a West African currency, the ECO. We have not been able. Let's face reality. I think we should be talking candidness now. We have not been able to meet the criteria the West African economies put together to come in with the eco we could support, the cities. So we have the dollar and we know it, and you know that you have to face it. And that is why you must take measures, to manage your expenditures so that you can support the dollar component of it. Yes, we can have that discussion. But the point I'm making now is that discussion, which has been thrown into the debate now, will not help us get out of the crisis. Because, rather like Russia, we cannot use the cedi to settle, some of those expenditures. So how do we get the dollar? That is the question facing it. Secondly, remember that this government in particular criticize other governments when they had one oil field, when we had tariff bearing, and when we had single spine taking so much, when indeed, we had a situation with gas supply. We coined one word, and they were keen on it, doing so to describe that situation, and not excusing the government. Did not excuse the government, did not give room. Everything was said to be. What has changed? Right. They had 2-3 oil fields, as I said. So it isn't as if they did not have revenue. They had $200 million US balance to pay off the coupon bond. As we speak, I doubt if there will be anything to meet the zero coupon bond in 2025. That's the sort of performance. They had ESLA, which should have cleared, the arrears. You can Google for yourself. In January 2017, it was admitted that there was enough money to pay for the energy sector debt, contractors and the rest from ESLA. What happened? That money was turned into, the flows were turned into a bond, the money received in advance. We did not make those expenditures. And again, we come back, we can repeat it. The World Bank is telling us that our situation, and I wish the World Bank itself had told us this. But there is this clarification coming, because remember the World Bank president, when we wanted debt forgiveness, said, come for debt suspension. We are a middle income country, and we didn't get it during COVID, after the 5 billion. So I'm saying that we have current situations. That is one. How are we going to pay wages?
A major economic challenge most people are feeling the most is the increase in petroleum products, with many demanding reductions in levies tied to the product. But is Ghana the only country with the hike in petroleum prices? Well, let's share some information from the global petroleum prices and see where we stand in Africa. All right, so increasing fuel prices. Diesel's Okay, so petrol and diesel prices in selected African countries. So this is diesel price per litre, $1 per litre. Ghana is sitting at a little bit over $1.6 per litre. And Nigeria is sitting at a little over $0.6 per litre for diesel. And Mali coming in third, we're sitting at exactly $1 per litre. Niger with a little under $1 per litre. Then we have Ivory Coast with a little over $1 per litre. And we have Burkina Faso, and it's sitting between 0.8 and $1 per litre. Let's go to Togo now, our neighbors Togo, and they are sitting at $0.8 per litre. And then Benin and Liberia are sitting at $1 per litre. We have Chad sitting between 0.8 and 1 per litre, and Sierra Leone sitting at $1. This is diesel prices per litre at $1 per litre. Let's go to Cameroon. Cameroon is sitting a little under $1, and Guinea is sitting a little over $1, with Senegal also just a bit below $1. All right, so let's go to petrol prices. Now let's do some petrol prices. And petrol prices per litre. Let's see, with Ghana being number one, $1.6 per litre. Nigeria being the lowest with $0.4. We have Mali sitting between $1 and $1.2. We have Niger, and they're sitting a little under $1, and we have Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is sitting a little over $1, with Burkina Faso following just a little bit. Then we have Togo. Togo is also the second last, nearly the least. Is sitting between 0.8 and $1, and we have Benin sitting exactly at $1 per litre. We have Liberia and Chad sitting at a little over $0.8, and we have Sierra Leone, Cameroon sitting a little above $1, and Guinea also sitting between $1 and $1.2 per litre. And the last one is Senegal, and Senegal seems to be the second highest, and they are sitting between 1.2 and $1.4 per litre. Now, petrol and diesel prices in selected African countries. Let's see. Okay, so this is petrol and diesel compared. Ghana is leading, obviously, with 1.6 for petrol and a little over 1.6 for diesel. Nigeria still being the lowest is 0.4. So this is like a side-by-side comparison of petrol and diesel, and Nigeria is at 0.4, with the petrol and the diesel sitting at 0.6, a little bit over 0.6. Let's go to Mali. Mali is sitting a little over a little bit over $1, and that's for petrol. For diesel, is sitting at 1. Now with Niger is the same for petrol and diesel, and that's a little below $1. And for Ivory Coast, the petrol is a little over $1, and the diesel follows as such. Burkina Faso, a little bit over $1 for petrol, and a little bit, so between 0.8 and $1 for diesel. Togo is sitting at 0.8, a little over 0.8 actually, and a little bit over 0.8 for both petrol and diesel. And Benin, for both petrol and diesel, sitting at 1, and it's the same thing with Sierra Leone is that they're sitting at 1. And if you go to Cameroon, Cameroon is sitting a little bit over $1 and for petrol, and for diesel a little under $1. Guinea is sitting at the same place for petrol and diesel, and that's between $1 and $1.2. And the last one is Senegal. Senegal, the petrol is sitting at 1.2, well, between 1.2 and 1.4, and the diesel is just below, between $1 and $1.2 per liter. Now, let's get onto the phone and speak with Professor John Garcia, who is an economist and financial expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I must indicate your voice is very, very low.
You must indicate that
Your voice is very, very low.
All right, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better.
All right, so to what extent can the dollar be blamed for what the country is currently experiencing?
Well, that will depend on the weight of its contribution to the pricing of fuel prices as we have in the country. I believe we are all aware that the level of depreciation, the crude oil price internationally, and the taxes that we impose on our fuel, that determines the price. So if, for example, there is a very erratic depreciation, then it may mean that the weight of depreciation may be contributing more to the pricing. So I believe that is what we need to look at. But as we speak now, it is not only the depreciation. We also saw prices of crude oil went up. It's only, I think, yesterday or a day before yesterday that there is some reduction somehow. So I believe multiple factors are contributing to the level of fuel prices that we have in the country. So
now,
if you ask to what extent, I will only say that because depreciation has become erratic, so its influence has become more sensitive.
Now, okay, so how is this linked to the cost of fuel in the country in general?
Yeah, that's what I explained earlier on, that we have our pricing formula, and depreciation is part of it, you know. If your currency is depreciating, it means you need more of your currency to import crude oil into the country or the refined products into the country. So that goes into the cost, and for that matter, the price builds up. So it's very sensitive to pricing of fuel in the country.
Okay, now let's look for a way forward. What options are available for Ghana to explore?
In terms of the depreciation?
Yeah, like, so what can we do? What can the country do? Or the people in leadership?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we need to recognize that we have multiple factors affecting the strength of our currency.
Yeah.
If you appreciate that, then we categorize them into demand and supply. So if we take supply, for example, of foreign currency that is supposed to support the performance of the currency, then we ask ourselves, how much foreign currency are we generating? What should we do to be able to generate much more foreign currency to protect our city?
Yeah.
How much reserves do we keep? Minimum. What do we do to get that component of the reserve that we need in order to protect the currency? Then we propose policies to address those issues. We come to the demand side. What are the things that are putting pressure on the demand for foreign currency for depreciation takes place within a cycle?
Yeah.
Then we begin to put in place policies to deal with that. And the most annoying aspect of the demand side is that most of the agricultural produce that we have the ability to produce, we are importing them.
Yeah.
We are importing fruit juice, which our industrial policy should have been addressing. So we need to be questioning our agricultural policy, whether they are potent or they are distant away from supporting monetary policy and the rest. So for me, that is how I will look at it. But I must also admit that these are not immediate solutions. But we need to put a roadmap to follow medium term to long term. We say these things over and over, which means that we are not able to start anything that will define the roadmap. So if we are able to do that assessment and know which part of the agricultural policy, trade policy will be helping to support the management of the currency, then we focus on that. And to the medium term as to the long term, perhaps we'll be seeing some signs. But it seems to me that is not how we are going about this. There is some misconception that Bank of Ghana has all it takes to manage the currency. No monetary policy or currency management regime will be sustainable if it is not supported by other policies within the framework of managing the economy. So that is what I would prefer.
So while we're waiting for a roadmap, what do the citizens do? They just wait, and what do they do?
Well, what they do is what we are seeing. They will be experiencing the effect of depreciation because we don't have a robust approach to deal with it. If you ask people, some would suggest the Bank of Ghana should pump money. Who told you the Bank of Ghana has not been pumping money before we got to this point? So you could see clearly that that is not sustainable. So for now, until we put our hand on the field, do what we are supposed to do, we will continue to experience some of these challenges.
All right. Thank you very much. That is Professor John Garcia, and he is a financial expert and an economist.